Welcome to Megan and Fitness, and thank you so much for clicking my video. I have been getting a lot of questions about intermittent fasting, and so I thought, why not make a YouTube video about it? So I love doing pros and cons videos. For those of you that follow me on Instagram already know that, and those of you that don't, you should definitely follow me on Instagram because I love doing pros and cons, and I do them a lot, so follow me on Instagram too. As a former strength and conditioning coach and currently being in the athletic training industry for 10 years, I love research. And this is something I love doing. I'm a certified nerd. I do it all the time. And I just want to also start off by saying that I'm not a doctor. I'm not your endocrinologist. And so I have heard amazing things about intermittent fasting, as I'm sure you have too. People losing obscene amount of weight just by eating in a certain window of time. So let's dive in. Intermittent fasting is defined usually as a window of eating for 8 hours and fasting for 16 hours. So that's all you do. You fast for 16 hours, you eat for 8 hours. Sounds pretty simple. All right, now let's dive into the pros of intermittent fasting. Promotes weight loss. So the biggest pro is that's why people do it, right? It promotes weight loss. A lot of research has been done on short-term studies. In fact, one of the biggest studies in particular was on 11 different trials, lasting anywhere between 8 and 24 weeks, wherein this study showed that it improved energy and promoted weight loss and helped made metabolic improvements between 4 to 14%. That is huge. That's actually really big on metabolic improvements. But I also do have to say that this differs 100% on age, height, weight, and gender. I will also attach all the research to my articles below. It's relatively easy to follow because, think about it. It's an outline of time. 8 hours eating, 16 hours of fasting. Unlike other diets where you have to stick to a macronutrient plan, or where you have specific carbs, proteins, and fats, or you have to add up your points, or you can't have this food and you can't have this food, and the list goes on and on and on and on, right? So it's simple. You just consume the normal amount of calories within a window of time. So if you were normally eating 1,700 calories, you'd still eat 1,700 calories, but in a shorter window of time. Another pro is that there are no off-limits foods. This promotes the idea that there are no good and bad foods, meaning this is less restrictive for you. So if you're craving a certain food, you can in fact eat it. So if you want that piece of cake, you can have it. This is actually really interesting. A study has been done on this where you satisfy cravings versus not satisfying cravings. It actually was a study of people that craved something and had satisfied that craving versus people that craved something and didn't satisfy it. The people that didn't satisfy that craving were more likely to lead to binge eating over a longer period of time than those that just ate the piece of cake that they wanted to eat when they saw it. It's actually really interesting the way that we crave things and the way that we want things. This is actually an idea that I have for a video that I kind of want to do for later. I was thinking about this. I've done a lot of research on how we look at things and how we crave things and how it affects us. So I think this is something I'm going to do later. Bottom line, if you want something, eat a little bit of it and move on. Before we go on to the cons, now is a great time that you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you share with your friends. Now the cons. Like I said before, I love doing the cons because I believe that there is at least two sides to every single story, and always an exception to the rule. So let's talk about the cons. There is no tracking system. I know, I said that was part of the pros, but that's also a con. When you don't know how many calories that you are consuming and your goal is to lose weight, it's really hard to know how many calories that you're intaking versus how many calories you're burning. And we all know that you have to consume less calories than you're burning in order to lose weight. Calories in versus calories out, plain and simple. I'm not saying you have to track everything that you're putting into your body, but it is important to know what you're putting into your body. Reduced physical activity. It was honestly really interesting to me to find that a couple studies indicated and showed that not a lot of programs, in fact, hardly any of them included or recommended any physical activity, which if any of you guys know me, know my motto is movement is medicine. And as a former strength and conditioning coach and current injury and rehabilitation specialist and prehabilitation specialist, it's very important to move your body, and the lack of movement plays such a negative role and impacts so many people in such a negative way that exercise changes people's lives. So yeah, kind of a game changer there. So that's not good. You get hangry. I think enough said there. It doesn't help you create mindful eating habits. And in some cases, in some studies, it can leave you having little to no energy and feeling extremely unproductive. A couple of studies showed that participants experienced no energy when they were fasting and during the fasted hours, which is to be expected, you know? It can increase and in some cases cause social anxiety. I mean, just think about it. We are social creatures and it's in our nature to want to connect with other humans. And in these types of situations, there's usually food involved or drink involved. And if you can only eat within a certain time frame and that meeting isn't in within that certain time frame, it could cause angst or anxiety during that amount of time. So those things could arise during that time. Remember, when it comes to any sort of fat loss, or you're coming here because you want something that's quick or like a tip for a diet that can help you lose weight, remember, sustainability. Sustainability and fat loss, it takes time. Movement is medicine. Consistency over time. Burn more calories than you're consuming and the weight will come off. Something that I found also really interesting in doing all this research, copious amount of hours in research, by the way, is that a lot of articles stated that more research needs to be done in the long term, which I thought was interesting because a lot of articles also stated that they've done this research for 2 years. I was like, I feel like 2 years in research, over 2,000 applicants, or in some cases, 15,000 participants is a lot of participants, especially in research when you only need to have 2,000 people. And they were stating that it should be over a longer period of time. So that's really interesting. I'd really be interested to see if more people and more research comes about this. So maybe in 6 months or a year from now, I'll do another video on this, updating you guys on more research that has come out. But until then, make sure that you like and subscribe and hit that bell button so that you don't miss any of my future workout videos or more pros and cons videos. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Hangry. You get hangry. You get hangry. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Anyways, we're gonna cut a little of that. Okay. A couple studies that showed well, good thing I didn't continue.